Number 2, Brad.
Number 4 now.
Oh, 4. Oh, I've been going down 5, 4, 3.
Oh, you were going like, I was just meant that like this is my 4th point. I've jumped around
Yeah.
on my list. I wrote like Drew Evans at 3. Uh, so yeah, 2 skill position roles. So you're talking about D-line roles. Who's going to do what this year? Obviously, Surratt's going to be wide receiver 1.
Who's
We
going
know
to
that.
do what?
Who's going to do
the
what?
stuff?
You know? Stays,
I don't know.
I'd say, is a very solid, like, he's going to be our tight end. Like I mentioned before, we already broke that room down, and I see Riley Nowakowski as a clear H-back behind the line of scrimmage type tight end. Not necessarily going to line up in 3-point stance and line up neck on the line of scrimmage, but will be around there. Not going to be out wide, but just going to be around the line of scrimmage, but not on it, right? And then bomb with a blocking tight end. But like, who's going to play slot? Is it going to be Mekhi Jackson? Is it going to be EJ Williams? I've been, when we started this live show, EJ Williams was kind of thought of as the third receiver. Like, it could be Mekhi Jackson. I alluded to that, a few weeks ago. It could be number 2 in your program, Mekhi Jackson. He was a all Sun Belt player last year at App State. Scored 7 touchdowns, 700 yards. Hell of a player. Hell of production over potential personified as Mekhi Jackson. And yeah, what are those roles going to look like? Where does Davion Chandler? I know Johnny Brady's going to get some tick too. Like, they don't bring him on without him. He's going to see the field. Like, what's his role going to look like? And yeah, a lot of action going on. And and can those young guys maybe break in, like Chandler, Bond, Becker? Can those guys break in and maybe get some tick? I see Becker's probably going to be a big time gunner for us, so he's still going to make an impact whether or not he's on offense or not. And now, since we're speaking of special teams, like, who's going to return punts? Who's going to return? We know Van Horst returning kicks, but I don't like Van Horst returning punts.
I like how
they didn't have him do that.
I like how one of your things was just Drew Evans, and the other one was all of the skill guys on the entire roster.
Well, yeah, because it's like, all right, what are we going to do? What is the running back room going to look like, right? Like, is Hemby, BB, Black, is it just going to be hot as hand? Is it going to be, are they going to stack it like, 15 for Hemby, 10 for BB, 5 for Black? Is that how it's going to go? Or, are they just going to go with hot hand? Based on those numbers, it'll just be awesome to see a much stronger skill group than it was last year, in my opinion. Just the fact that our two best guys from last year are back, and then we supplemented some really good talent like a Holden Stays, like a Mekhi Jackson, and like a Roman Hemby to kind of supplement all those different roles that we kind of had to replace. So seeing what goes on with the skill guys in this offense, where they really like to spread the wealth, a lot of guys like to get catches. It's exciting to see kind of who fits where, and I think we have a good idea, but a lot of things can change but this kind of just started because I wanted to bring up punt return a little bit, to be honest. That's kind of why it was just like skill position roles. Punt returner, who's it going to be? It could be Johnny Brady, could be Mekhi Jackson, and sleeper LeBron Bond. How fun would that be? Little LeBron Bond back there, number 6.
It's funny. I was thinking the same thing. I'll go a little bit tighter. Oh, first thing, actually, I believe it was Delusional Hoosier who tweeted this out. So if it wasn't, I apologize. But if it was, of course, pat in the back nailed that. D'Angelo Pond's first pick his freshman year was covering Mekhi Jackson.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's fun.
Right? Isn't that crazy? But for my number 2 storyline, I went specifically the slot receiver rotation. They have a bunch of different guys that can play there. You mentioned Mekhi Jackson, Jonathan Brady, LeBron Bond, Miles Kendrick is somebody who's working in there. Davion Chandler is someone we expect to be working in there. We know that Surratt and Cooper can both line up in the slot. We expect to see both of them work in there. I wouldn't even be surprised to see Stays maybe line up in there a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see BB or Hemby line up in the slot either.
Not BB.
He's an excellent pass catcher, and he walked on as a wide receiver.
I'm going to check you there. I don't think they're going to play running backs in the slot. I don't think they're going to do that. I think our backs are backs. I think they can catch. They can catch out of the backfield. I don't think they're going to line them up wide. They just don't do that.
I bet we see Lee Beebe line up in the slot this year.
How much do you want to bet on it?
I'll bet you a beer.
Okay, yeah. That's about what I was thinking too. Cool.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's probably the same price, right? That's what
Yeah.
beer costs
In
nowadays.
Chicago, definitely.
Arm and a leg, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking at that slot wide receiver rotation, and obviously, like they played 8 receivers last year, so people are going to get ticked. And it's like
Oh,
Charlie
yeah.
Becker's a guy neither of us have mentioned at all, and he's not going to be playing the slot. But another person who like I'm very excited to watch play football this year.
Yeah. No offense to Charlie Becker, but he's not really the mold I think of when I think of slot.
No, he's not. He won't play in the slot.
6'4".
Sig said he was the
know.
only receiver in the spring to not take a snap in the slot.
Okay. That makes sense. He's a clear outside guy.
Yeah. Number 1. Or last storyline. I don't know which order you went in.
Fernando Mendoza. The most important piece of this whole puzzle. The most important piece of the whole puzzle is Fernando Mendoza.
There
Right?
he is.
We've been talking about, we talk about the supporting cast a lot, giving them the flowers, basically to emphasize the fact that this supporting cast is where it needs to be to compete with any team in the country. How do we get over the top? It's going to come down to quarterback play, right? How do we get over the hump? And that's what comes down to. Obviously, trenches comes into play in there, but also, quarterback play as well. And we covered the trenches a good bit, but Mendoza also comes into that as being the new quarterback. Rourke was hell of efficient last year, especially on third down. Like when we needed a first down, Rourke got us a first down. My favorite comment about Rourke last year was that he's a machine that takes snapped balls and turns them into touchdowns. I think a lot of that has to do with the quarterback friendly offense, but can Mendoza replicate that and possibly take it even further using his mobility, using his, NFL draft upside to take us over the hump, right? And that's what I'm looking for from Mendoza. Is he going to be able to pick up this offense in stride? He's had all offseason to kind of fix the mistakes he's learned from spring and obviously work at his craft and build chemistry with the receivers. And, really would love him to have a very, very strong fall camp. And we'll send this team, like I said, to the moon, is what his potential is.
I don't think there could have been a different name to be, and we didn't talk about this beforehand,
No.
but it is so obvious that is the most important storyline is the play of Fernando Mendoza. He's been in the program for 6-7 months. We've had that time to speculate on what this kid's going to look like, hear the stories, hear the way his teammates talk about him, hear the way the coaches talk about him, hear the way draft pundits are talking about him. Tomorrow or today, whenever you end up seeing this video, July 30th, when fall camp starts, it's speculation out the window. Like it's time. And so it's like Fernando Mendoza, like we believe in him, obviously, but it's like, what do you got? We're going to find out, and we'll find out quickly. And so Indiana is going to go as far as Mendoza takes them. And if he's able to hit his ceiling and be the type of player we expect him to be, then yeah, there's going to be a lot more people out there like upset with the way Indiana puffs their chest because we're going to be a pretty damn good football team again.
Oh yeah, we're gonna beat some teams people don't expect us to beat if Mendoza is gonna live up to the first round draft hype. And yeah, there really isn't much more to be said about the guy. He's a great leader. Honestly, a side storyline could probably be, his leadership with the team, which I think he already has the respect. We saw the clips of summer, winter workouts. He's already being vocal with the guys, breaking them up in the huddle, things like that, becoming that, Aiden Fisher on the offensive side of the ball, which we need him to be. And then obviously would like to see Coogan kind of break into a captainship role as well. But keeping it to Mendoza, I mean, he is the catalyst to what could be a very, very special year in Bloomington.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's what we got. Fall camp is here. Oh, I want to shout out Daniel Flick had a story on Mikal Kamara, and some of the quotes coming out of that were absolutely incredible. My favorite one being, I want them to show scars of what I do to them. Thinking about quarterbacks.
He's so scary. He's so
That
scary.
was incredible.
Dude.
That was incredible.
He is. All right. I think, I'm gonna give Caleb Downs his respect real quick, but I think, we know Jeremiah Smith. He really is like tied for first in terms of scariest player in the Big Ten. like just straight up fear factor. Like Jeremiah Smith like makes cornerbacks shaking their boots. Mikel Kamara, apologies. Mikel Kamara makes offensive tackles and quarterbacks shaking their boots. And that presence is going to be felt all year. And yeah, can't wait for him to leave some scars on some Big Ten quarterbacks this year. Which young D lineman takes the biggest leap this year? Mario Landino.
I actually think it's going to be Ndukwe.
Mine's Landino.
Just because I think Ndukwe has farther to jump. That's the only. I think if Landino I think Landino showed a lot of really good things last year. If he just gets more playing time, I think we see more of that versus like we got to see the block punt from Ndukwe, but we didn't get to see much of him coming off the edge. A lot of that had to do with how big he was as a true freshman in college. That's a little bit different now. So
my take kind of comes from the fact I think Landino just gets more snaps, to be honest.
And he's just damn good, dude.
Just because we have Mikel Kamara, you know,
he's so good. Yeah, that's what I got for this week, Brad. Any closing thoughts as we approach the start of fall camp?
Kind of how I started. You know, it's a great opportunity for everyone to kind of find their spot in the team, build bonds, come together as a full unit. As you know, they're all camped up and spending. They don't even do 2 days anymore, huh?
Nope.
Which kind of
they haven't done 2 days for like 10 years, dude.
Okay. Well,
2 days were a thing when we were like 5 and 6. Like I'm sure actually in youth football,
I did 2 days.
Yeah, I was about to say in youth football, you probably had a couple 2 days, but we were like the last age group.
Yeah.
Actually, funniest thing I saw observing, it was like a youth spring team I was watching from the like baseball field. They were in like jumping jack lines. And some kid was like lollygagging his jumping jack. So the kid leading the line jogged around the group into the line and then leveled the kid. Dropped him like a snake. Yeah, it was nuts. Took his head off and then went back to the front and continued doing the jumping jacks.
That's funny. Like I said, it's where bonds are formed and you come together as a team. I couldn't tell you how many inside jokes came out of fall camp back in my playing days. And it really is. Kind of why you
that's D3 was doing 2 days in 2016. Wait, that's 9 years ago though. How crazy is that?
Yeah, wow.
How crazy is that? That is wild that there were 2 days in 2016.
Yeah, we're doing 2 days in high school and in 2017.
That's wild.
Yeah. Duh. Weightlifting in the morning.
Well, no, I'm not talking about weight. Practice. I'm not talking about weightlifting. Yeah, no, I'm talking about twice a day in pads.
Yeah, weightlifting, morning practice, lunch, film, afternoon practice. Go to bed. You're waking up at 6 a.m. the next day. Go to bed. It's usually a team activity after practice, and then we go to bed. Dinner, team activity, bed. It's kind of how it goes. But yeah, it's an exciting time. It's where guys come together and form bonds, really kind of why you play the sport, building bonds that last a lifetime and starting to, build something special, I guess, in the minds of these players. It's more so about building bonds that can last through January as they try to set their sights on a national title, which is the team goal, as we all know. If you watch this show, that is the goal of the team. The goal of the team is to win the Big Ten title game and then go to the playoff and then win the national title. That is what this team is set up to do, and they're gonna have 33 days to figure it out.
Well, I can tell you this. If you listen to anything that any of them say, they are not running from the expectation that this is going to be a very good football team with the aspirations of winning a national title. That's the goal. They're saying it. They're not running away from it. I'm just excited that the next time we speak, which will be next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about football practice and things that actually occur on a football field. It won't be games, obviously, but one step closer. We're here. The offseason is no longer. We're in ramp up. We're here. And that's the exciting part. You can follow us at Indiana VOCFB on Twitter. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to YouTube. We're chasing 500 subscribers. We're at almost 560, I think. So I think we'll be able to get there before the season. That's the goal. Follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at Alec Keyser. Follow Brad at Bradley_Loomis8. Check out the Sigs Inside account. And then you can get us. I know I think there was an issue with the audio last week. It didn't go to podcast feeds for some reason. That should be taken care of this week, so be on the lookout for those. Spotify, iTunes, things like that. I was also told sometimes the Believe network picks them up. So I guess maybe check that feed as well. But I'll have some information if people reach out. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Appreciate everybody for hanging out. One step closer to football season, baby. Fall camp is here.
Fall camp, baby. The 2025 Hoosier season has begun.
Go Hoosiers.
Lights, camera, action.